I'm AC Brown, and you're listening to Is My Aura On Straight, a podcast designed to help you start living from your core instead of your conditioning. Each week, we'll discuss topics ranging from human design, astrology, metaphysics, spiritual self-development, and everything in between. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Is My Aura On Straight. I am your host, AC Brown, and I am your spiritual doula, intuitive strategist, and human design expert, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I want to thank you so much for listening to another episode of Is My Aura On Straight. Just like last episode, we are talking about the not self. And if you did not listen to last episode because it doesn't apply to you, or you just didn't want to listen because it's about manifestors, today we're talking about generators. And I'll just reiterate, we must deal with the not self. The not self is the part of us that we struggle with the most when we come into human design and when we are in beginning of our deconditioning process. So today we're focusing on generators, pure generators at that. So if you're unfamiliar with generator strategy is to respond, then act. And how generators will master, make the most money in their lifetime is mastery over time. That is their wealth theme, is mastery over time, mastering something. So Beyonce, Oprah, Celine Dion, I love saying that. Celine Dion, those are generators. Pure generators. There's a bunch of other pure generators as well. But the reason why I use them is because they are masters at their craft when it comes to what they do and how they make the most money in their life. So that's what we're going to talk about. And generators, you are the frustrated ones. That is your not self theme, being frustrated. And why you get frustrated, we're going to talk about some of the things that you get frustrated about and how to combat them and how to pretty much, not get rid of the not self, because everybody's always going to have some type of shadow not self kind of thing, but it's more about deconditioning from it and really flowing into your life being a generator. So generators get so frustrated because they attempt to initiate. We live in a world where it's very conditioned by manifestors thinking. So generators attempt to initiate, and they don't wait to respond to what life brings them naturally. So when generators don't wait, they don't stick to anything long enough to master anything, because they get caught up in doing work. You guys can get caught up in doing work that's unfulfilling because you don't wait to respond. And so since we're all conditioned by manifestor mentality of just doing it, generators struggle the most when it comes to mastering their craft or finding something to master or aligning with their purpose. And that's because generators are very unclear about what they want. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But how you can combat some of that is, for generators, it's really important for you to enter things correctly so you can develop and perfect your craft, because plateaus are going to come and try to knock you off your game. That's where your frustration comes in. So what does that mean? Find things that are correct for you. So generators, their strategy is respond then act. So you are responding to life. You are responding. You won't know that things are correct for you, that things are right for you, until you're in them. So I always tell generators, if you want to look at Beyonce, look at Oprah. They have long careers of mastery. Anybody who's a generator who's very successful, their life will be consisted of a long time of mastering something. Generators are always like, oh, so I can't have multiple businesses and things. You really shouldn't. If you're going to have multiple things, keep it in the same wheelhouse. But that's really not for you. You need to be known for one thing or known for that thing. So if you are trying to get your PhD, be known for, you having a PhD in a certain thing. If you're known for singing, become the best singer in that genre. If you are a hairstylist, be the best hairstylist possible. If you are a doctor, same thing. Be the best, the best, the best, the best in your field or on that particular level that you are at. That is what mastery is for you. So when a generator initiates, what happens is they get stuck and they can't move forward. So generators will, reach these plateaus in their journey to mastery. They'll get frustrated and then they'll give up. And then they're in this constant cycle of not mastering anything and becoming a slave to careers or jobs that they really hate. So it's really about figuring out what you really love to do, what you really like to do. And that comes with asking yourself those simple questions that I always talk about. So for generators, what you need to do is you need to surrender to life and allow it to happen. And once you can allow life to happen to you, that's where your magic meets its mastery. I think what happens is that generators get a little confused when it comes to mastery, and they're like, oh, okay, I can master this in 3 years or 2 years. Granted, you can, but in my experience with dealing with generators who are successful in something that they do, the mastery is over time, which is anywhere between 5 to 7 years. And that's just the reality of it. It's fine. It's okay, but you have to be okay with that. And you have to stay the course, because in anything that you do, 5 to 7 years can be a long time, especially if you're not getting the recognition that you want, especially if you're not making the money that you want. You can experience these huge plateaus. But what you have to do is you really have to respect the plateau and look at plateaus as places to tweak your mastery. So I'll use the hairstylist kind of analogy, because I like that. That's a good one, especially today where hair is so popular. Hair has always been popular, but you know what I'm saying. So you go to hair school, you decide, hey, I'm not going to college. College is not for me. I really love doing hair. I've been doing my friend's hair all this long. I even might have went to college and I've done hair, but I'm ready to leave college and just commit to being a hairstylist. Great. So you go to hair school. So any well-respected, I don't even want to say well-respected, any hairstylist who's making money full-time as a hairstylist, they know that they have to build their books. And there's some hairstylists that I know that have, $100,000, $1 million books, meaning that they have that clientele of people who constantly come to them year after year, month after month, week after week, etc. So that takes time to build. So as a hairstylist, you're a generator hairstylist and you just got out of hair school. Let's say you're 22. And right now, what's very popular which has always been popular, are like micro links, hair extensions, etc. And then you start doing hair extensions. You start doing different type of lengthening processes. You learn how to do all types of hair. And then you start becoming successful. People start knowing you. And then what happens is that you wind up continuing to do hair and you continue to just be known as an extension specialist. But then you start getting bored, or you start not getting the extreme recognition that you want, or your money starts evening out. You're in a plateau. So my advice for someone who's in a plateau where they have mastered, let's say, the first level of hair extension, doing hair extensions for other people, etc., would be to dive a little bit deeper. Now, maybe you should specialize in a specific type of hair extension, or you should start developing a technique that you learn how to do the hair extensions faster or more, accurate, or make it look more real. And then you can start teaching that hair extension technique. Now, what happens is with most generators is that when they get to that point of they've mastered what they think they've mastered in hair extensions, they don't go looking further for evidence on how to dive deeper into that mastery. They will usually be like, I'm tired of doing hair extensions. I'm going to learn how to color hair. And I'm going to learn how to become a colorist. Meanwhile, you're very, very good at doing hair extensions, but because you're at this plateau in the level that you're doing it at, you move on to something else, and then you start getting frustrated. Now you've taken all these color certifications, these color classes, which is great to know, great to have, great information. Meanwhile, your techniques, the way that you do hair extensions, they're becoming a little stale. People are starting to go to other people who have different techniques, or they're doing hair extensions faster, or they're making it last longer, whatever the case. Meanwhile, all this time when you were worrying about becoming a colorist because you got bored with hair extensions, you could have been mastering that part of hair extensions for yourself. So that's where I say to, generators, respect the plateau area and dive deeper. The plateaus are really there to reset you within the mastery, not to reset your direction, but to reset your mastery level, to take it further, to dive deeper into what you want to learn, to niche down. That's where the mastery. So then, let's say if the hairstylist decided, you know what, instead of me going to learning about color, I'm going to learn more about different types of hair extensions, different ways. I'm going to invest money in myself and learn from different hair extension specialists and investing money there, traveling the country, learning more techniques, learning more things. And then voila, one day you're doing a hair extension with one of your regular clients, and then your client says, wow, what did you do differently this time? My hair looks better. And then boom, you have a new technique on how you can do hair extensions. And then someone else in your shop or in your salon says, oh my gosh, girl, like I saw you do that person's hair extensions and it looks flawless. It looks easier. Can you show me how to do it? And then you start, offering classes on how to do your technique. That's another level into your mastery. And then all of a sudden, everyone wants to know how you do your technique. And then you build a business teaching people how to do your hair extension technique. And then that's another notch of mastery. So within that plateau, instead of you running and becoming a colorist, you became more intensely involved in your hair extensions and how to perfect them even more. You started seeking out help. You started going to different trainings. You started doing all of these things so you can learn how to master that particular thing that you wanted to be known for. So that's where I see a lot of generators having issues, that when they get to that plateau stage, they just jump ship and just be like, you know what, fuck it. This is not going to work out for me. I'm going to do something else. And then they start getting frustrated, and then they're like, well, why isn't my career going the way I want it to go? I was, I'm good at hair. I do hair extensions, but no, you don't do hair extensions the best because now you've invested all this money in color. That doesn't make any sense. And I use that analogy. I talk in analogies because it's better for people to relate, but I use that because you can apply that to anything that a generator has either success in or they're failing at. They jump ship when a plateau hits. That is just the facts. And so instead of you jumping ship, you need to embrace that plateau. Dig deeper into that plateau so you won't be frustrated. So in order for you to do that, generators really need to figure out what they want in order for you guys to truly connect to your sacral desires. If you don't know what you want, how will you be able to answer a hell yes or a hell no if you really don't know what you want? So, in this journey, back to the hairstylist, you've, set out to be the best hair extensions person in your city or in your state. And then, when you got to year 3, after you didn't build your books, after you didn't learned how to do it a little bit better, you're like, you know what? I want to be a colorist. That's just crazy. And that's what happens to generators all the time. I see it time and time again. Any generator who's not making the money that they want, who's not living the life that they want, who doesn't, is not in alignment with who they want to be, it's because you are abandoning ship during a plateau. I can guarantee it, hands down. I talk to a lot of generators time and time again. The frustration, all of this stuff that comes along during these plateaus. You have to stay the course. The plateaus are there for you to investigate. They are not there for you to run from. It is a time to investigate what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you can do better, what you can invest more time in. So you have to respect that plateau. So another thing that comes in where, frustration for my generators is that you get frustrated because when you respect the plateau, when you allow life to happen to you, what does that mean? That means that you are losing control and that you feel that you're going to lose control of your life. But I can guarantee you that the universe is not going to let you down. I promise you, the universe is not going to let you down when you know what you want. That's why you have to go back to, what do I want? What do I need? What's going to make me happy? Because the universe will start bringing that to you. And so the losing control thing won't happen for you as a generator, because the universe is going to start presenting things. All pure generators that I know who are really successful, when they have made a decision, the universe, and this goes for everybody, of course, when you make a decision, the universe responds to that. But mostly for generators, when you make a decision, the universe shows up in a way that is pure magic. And that goes for all aura types, but especially for my generators and my manifesting generators, because you are here to respond to life. So you have to, release the fear of losing control of your life. You also have to release the fear of the unknown. I know it's scary to, walk in the unknown, but you have to. You also have to fear that nothing's going to happen in your life, because that's not the case. And then you also have to get rid of the fear that you will get nothing to respond to. That's a lie as well, because the universe is going to bring you things to respond to as you not prove yourself, but as you get more clear about what you want. Most generators who are unhappy and who are not making the money, having the successful business that they want, or success in certain areas in their life, they don't know what they want. The universe cannot respond to a fickle mind. And that goes for anybody, but mostly for generators, because you have to get clear on what you want. And also too, generators, so in the frustration, you have to stop making decisions with your mind. The mind is the mind is a terrible place in human design. And I always tell people this: you have to use your mind and the thoughts that come into your mind as a parole board. I use this time and time again. It's just my analogy. Your decision making skills go up to the parole board, and it's looked at fact or fiction. It's not to make the final decision. It's just a review process. That's all it is. But my generators, you all need to really stop making decisions with your mind, because you're not going to know if you like something or not until you're actually in it. And that's okay. Sometimes to others, you might seem a little fickle, or you might seem like, what are you doing? But that's okay. Last but not least, my generators, you need to do something that I've been talking about this whole time to eliminate your frustration, and that is respect the plateau. Respect it. If you don't respect the plateau, you're going to be an angry person. You're going to be one of the frustrated ones, and you're just going to be frustrated all the time. So here's some tips when you get into a plateau, or if you are in a plateau. So to all my generators who are facing a plateau, who are in a plateau, or feel like a plateau is coming on soon, is number one, of course, respect it. Number two, take a step back and look around. What's going wrong? What's going right? What can you improve on? And what can you eliminate in that plateau on the way towards your mastery? That is extremely important. What you can do while in the plateau. Next, know that the plateau is your friend. It's there to help you. It's there to get you clear about what you want. And it's there to help you along the way of your mastery to be more just educated about what you're doing. Because remember, you are there to master something. Mastery happens over time for you as a pure generator. It is not an overnight success. You can become an overnight success, but that overnight success is going to the prelim to that is, 5 to 7 years of you grinding it out. And then all of a sudden, whoop, everybody takes notice, but that's okay. So just remember those things as you're on your way to mastery. If you have any questions, feel free, like I always tell everybody, to email me or, DM me, ask questions, etc. Because, I really feel for my generators, because generators and projectors really, they make magic together, but they also have some of the same struggles in a way. And I'm going to talk about that in another podcast as well, about just some of the combinations when it comes to friendships, romance, all of that stuff in a relationship podcast. But that's all for today for my generators. I hope you enjoyed this. If you are interested in getting a Who You Are in Human Design reading, go to my website, Work With Me page, and you can find out how to work with me on different levels, and not just human design, but other ways that I help you as well. If you want to be on an upcoming podcast about me helping you solve one problem, one question in an aura analysis, please fill out the form in the link in my bio in my Instagram. And like I said, it's one question, one problem that you have. It's going to be a little bit of psychic intuition, a little bit of coaching, but a whole lot of clarity. And it's going to be used based off of your human design chart. Like I said, I use human design charts sometimes, like as a tarot reader would use a tarot card. Also, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my newsletter, which I'm going to have some really great products and services rolling out very soon that I think you guys are going to really love. But until next time, enjoy your day, the rest of your day, or whenever you listen to this. And I hope the rest of your day is filled with good vibes and great energy. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight? Make sure you follow me on Instagram at AC Brown, and also check out my website for products and services at www.acbrown.com. And until we meet again, make sure you have a great week filled with good vibes and good energy.